Hello everyone, Azeal here. I first want to thank everyone who came over here to subscribe to this channel after my interview with Azeal. To be totally honest with you, I created this channel with the sole purpose of just responding to comments to Azeal's video. I really didn't intend to start making content with Azeal, but quite a number of you wanted updates, so I feel this was a way that I could do that, along with being able to rationalize my feelings from the experiences of having a child with a life-threatening condition. I also wanted to make this podcast-style blog series to document everything that I remember with my daughter's epilepsy and things going forward. So here goes. First and foremost, to everyone who left such wonderful, positive feedback in the comments of Azeal's video, I want to give you the most sincere and heartfelt thank you. My wife and I have struggled a lot with feelings of isolation, that we shouldn't share our pain with others because they couldn't possibly understand. And while the majority of you will never have to go through what we went through, to know that totally random people, when we are more divided than ever, can empathize and just want to support us in any way they can is heartwarming. My wife is not really into VR chat or YouTube or anything like that, but she was taken aback by the support. In her words, "I'm happy to know there's still decent people in the world." And of course, a special thanks to Azeal for allowing me to get my story to you all. It would not have been possible without him. Now, I'm going to address some comments. No. Plain and simple, no I'm not. The actions I took are what I believe nothing more than what any decent human being would do in the context of taking care of their child. It is in my opinion that to not do everything that you possibly could to save your child doesn't make you much of a man. Not only this, but I've also made grave mistakes. Like thinking before my wife sent me the YouTube link that my daughter's movements were just weird baby movements. Or leaving my life alone on the night we started ACTH. And I just didn't tell my job that I needed to be with my wife and child at that moment. These things weigh very heavily on my soul. And the truth of the matter is, I'm actually quite damaged. Weak, broken, just a shell of my former self, to the point where I've been officially diagnosed with severe anxiety. I'm unsure what prompted others to think that I'm any way close to being strong, but I suppose I might have put on a good front. Repression's a hell of a drug. And so is THC. I do what I can to have normal days, but to call me some Superman dad oozing with qualities that should be aspired to is not a title that should be placed upon me. You can't, and that's by design. Again, we're completely taken aback that total strangers would want to open up their wallets and personally give us financial help. The sentiment is so touching to us. But in all honesty, we don't need it. Don't get it twisted, this isn't some toot my own horn thing like we're rich or something. Hardly. I might be the sole provider in my family, but we're actually okay. I have quite a number of side hustles, we've made some very good financial decisions for our everyday life, and we penny pinch a lot. I wanted to make sure that my wife could have a life, to be able to choose to be a stay-at-home mother or not. Her being there for our child 24/7 is what I believe was the best decision for her. Although I spoke at length about just how expensive some of these treatments and medications were, the truth is insurance took care of them, for the most part. My insurance is, to put it bluntly, stupid expensive, but it also has stupidly good coverage, and we use the hell out of it. Incidentally, I remember seeing our premiums at my employer go up the year after my daughter's first surgery, and again after the second and third. As they explained those years, the company had a large increase of high-priced claims. And it was the first time I saw such a letter, even though I had been with the company for a total of 2 years by then. Yes it is. Although I had insurance take care of these ridiculous high-priced claims, the problem arises if I hadn't, or, like after the first surgery, some pencil pusher who has no insight into our daughter's history decides things like open brain surgery are actually not medically necessary, rejects my claim, and then the hospital is like, okay, here's your bill for $250,000, and without insurance, that would be the price I would be responsible for. Even with hospitals having charity financial assistance, if you make between like $40,000 or $90,000, you'd only get like around 80% off, which would be around $50,000 for such a claim. Whereas the final price my insurance had to pay was $32,000. So yes, these ludicrous numbers that are pulled out of their ass, I would have been responsible for if someone decided it was truly not medically necessary. However, as I said before, my wife is Chinese, and she has lived in Japan for 10 years, and we now live in the US. She has now had experience with all these healthcare systems, and given the same circumstances, had my daughter had this condition while we had lived in either of those countries, not only would we be financially ruined, but she would not have nearly the same opportunities that she had here for treatment. Actually, this avatar is based on Mira, the Shiba Inu from the dog ending in Silent Hill 2, which predates the Doge meme by several years, you uncultured Philistine. Let's be real. This is VR chat, where you can go into a bar, sit down with a giant bluefish tuna that flops around when it speaks, a Pikachu is spinning in a desk chair in the corner, all the while you're overhearing a conversation about military history from a big-tittied anime slime girl, and a 2D cutout of a huge-assed Omni-Man in a Nicki Minaj-esque pose slides by. I don't know what part of this ridiculous social experience is supposed to be taken seriously. I never planned on using VR chat as my personal therapy session, it just worked out that way. And above all else, I just like memes. Doge is my favorite meme. Doge makes me happy. My own personal dog is a Doge. I think the avatar fits my personality. So, as for any sort of update on the condition of my kiddo, unfortunately, the 24-hour scheduled EEG got pushed back. The Omnicorn virus is ravaging the city, and they simply don't have room. I really hope they're not putting COVID cases in the neurology ward, but I kind of see this as a double-edged sword. I really want to avoid COVID at all costs, especially for my kid, but to have us be pushed back is an obvious disappointment. So far, we have a tentative date at the end of January, but I won't be surprised if that gets pushed back again. Of course, insurance has preemptively deemed it medically unnecessary, but now we have time to fight their bullshit once more. So, if anyone has any questions, feel free to write something in the comments and I'll be happy to respond. That's really all for now. Oh, and by the way, if you guys ever want to hang out with me on VR chat, please add me. My name is ISDoge, like my username here on YouTube. I'll be happy to meet anyone who came across my existence as part of this experience. Bye-bye for now.